welcome into Phin Forward, the official podcast of the University of Mount St. Vincent, our first episode. Here we are, Phil Stern, Vice President for University Student Engagement. My co-host, Lawrence Fauntleroy, Vice President for Strategy. Lawrence, how you feeling? The first
excited.
one is finally here.
I'm super excited, Phil. This has been kind of in the queue for a while. I love the touches that you put on this. Oh man, the cards, everything. I mean, I am a little bit shorter than you in this picture. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I mean, everyone knows you're taller than me, but it looks like by the hair, I'm taller than you, just for the podcast purposes.
Yeah.
But Lawrence, this is so exciting. We're about to show off to the world the amazing things going on at the Mount. Not only what's happening now, but what's going to happen in the future, and that's what we base this podcast on.
1,000%. I think the goal is really to get the Mount out there. Strategically, it's important, especially with this landscape now, and how important education is. And we'll talk about that with our guests. But I'm excited about all the things that this podcast will do to kind of uplift the Mount.
Yeah, and it's amazing because there's so many different directions that we can go. We're going to talk about the amazing people that are coming to our campus.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the amazing people that make sure the campus has what it needs in this difficult time in education. And of course, we'll start off today with our amazing leader, Dr. Burns, our president, who's taking us in such great directions.
Yeah, I think she is our biggest cheerleader, what she does off the campus, on the campus, in her sleep. I tease her oftentimes that she was born in a hurry. And so I'm excited to hear all the things that we may not have even heard since yesterday that's going on. So this is perfect, Phil. This is perfect. This will be perfect for our guests coming in the future and all the things, our partnerships that are happening. So I'm excited about this.
And I'm glad you mentioned Born in a Hurry, because the name of the first podcast is Born in a Hurry.
Yeah.
It's named after our first guest, obviously, Dr. Burns. We're here in the beautiful studio on campus, the great Bobby Williams studio. He's running the show for us today, back behind the glass. And he hates when we say his name, but we're going to say it a lot.
Yeah.
Beautiful studio on campus. There's so much that goes on. A lot of people might not know we have a studio. And we're going to show this thing off and Bobby's amazing equipment. And hopefully we'll even help Bobby upgrade his equipment. But everything we do is about bettering the Mount, which is why I think you and I are so excited about this opportunity. So let's explain a couple of things we're going to do.
Let's talk about format.
Yeah, so we're going to have a segment every podcast. We're going to try to guess our guest walk-up song, right? So for those of you who don't know, when you go to a baseball game, you get announced and they play your walk-up song, 20 seconds of your favorite music. Lawrence and I decided we're going to try to guess the walk-up song for each guest. So today we're going to try to guess Dr. Burns later on in our second segment. But to try it out, give it a test, you and I are going to guess each other's. Now, we've known each other, 6-8 months?
6-8 months.
We've gotten to know each other pretty well. We work pretty closely, but the chances of us knowing our favorite music might be difficult.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and try to guess what my walk-up song, what did I pick? Bobby has it, and he has it queued up.
Right.
What do you think I picked? And remember, I'm a little older.
Okay. Yeah, you're only a year older than me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a couple of clues together for myself. So we've been to a couple of basketball games together. I'm thinking about the music. I've been in your car before. I'm thinking about what may have been on the radio, thinking about some of the things that we talked about. I'm gonna go with Rush, Limelight.
Come on.
I'm gonna go with that.
Get out of here.
No. I'm gonna go with that. If Bobby could cue that up.
Bobby, what did I say?
If we could cue that up. Come on, brother.
That's Rush.
Come on.
Limelight.
Come on.
For those 80s people out there, you know this. Rush, the great band from Canada, by the way.
That's a home run.
If you know the movie I Love You, Man, you know Rush. Bobby, thanks.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, did you call my wife or anything?
I did some inquiry. I did a little background information. I did not use chat for this, but I did go on my own intel, the whole thing, and so.
That's unbelievable. I'm shocked right now. I don't know if I'm showing it. I'm sweating a little bit from that. Are you a medium?
No, I'm just paying attention.
All right.
Just paying attention.
All right, so Great job by you. Way to
Okay.
start. You see how this is going to work, right? People are either going to be shocked or people are going to be like, "You're way off.
Yeah.
Like you have
Yeah.
you don't know me at all."
And I was pretty lucky on that.
Yeah, that was pretty good because I could have went the other way, another
Yeah.
way.
Easily.
So, let me tell you how I got to your song.
Okay.
You
Oh,
are
goodness.
Bronx through and through.
Okay.
You graduated from Lehman.
I did.
You worked in New York City
Yes.
in the health field.
Yep.
You then went back to Lehman
Yep.
and spent 7 or 8 years working there.
I did.
I actually, if you remember, took a tour of Lehman with you.
You did.
You took me through the bowels of Lehman, things I never even knew that were going on underground there. And I learned a lot about you that day
Yeah.
through the people we met, because everybody knew this guy at Lehman, everybody. Like everyone already knows him here at the Mount. So,
I pay people.
understood. But through a lot of deduction,
Okay.
I've pared it down
This is gonna be good.
because of hip hop in the Bronx and rap in the Bronx, but because we're about the same age,
Okay.
I pared it down even further.
Okay.
I did not call anybody that you know.
Okay.
I didn't ask anybody because I wanted to get this right
I
myself.
can't wait to hear this.
And the fact that you got this right about me, I must
You
get
have
this
to.
right about you. So, Bobby, get ready. I'm going with The Message by Melly Mel.
Oh, wait. I gotta hear that.
Bobby?
Oh, no, you didn't, brother. No, you didn't. That's
Is that right? That's it, right?
That is 1,000%
Oh, my
right.
God.
That is the Bronx through and through. I love it.
I
love
went.
it.
You are all Bronx,
Yeah.
even though you don't live in the Bronx, but you are all Bronx. And Melly Mel, The Message. If you haven't heard of it, go listen to it. It's tremendous.
Go listen to it. It is relative to this day, and so yeah.
That's pretty good.
job.
We're 2 for
job.
2. If we could only guess a guess correctly,
Yeah, that's where it's gonna. That's where
we got Dr. Burns coming up
Yeah, that's
in
where I'm
our
gonna start.
second segment. So you see what that's going to look like. We wanted to just tease that for you a little bit. Coming up, though, the first guest of the Phin Forward podcast, the official podcast of UMSV, the 6th president of the University of Mount St. Vincent, Dr. Susan Burns. We're excited to have her, and we'll be right back.
Excellent.
All right, welcome back in segment 2 of the podcast, Phin Forward, the official podcast of the University of Mount St. Vincent. You don't see her yet, but we have our first guest ready to go.
Yeah.
But Lawrence, before
Talk to me,
we
Phil.
get to the incomparable Dr. Burns,
Talk to me.
we have to guess her song. As we teased in segment number 1, talk to me about how we want to go about this.
Well, Chat did not help me on this at all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm struggling.
Okay.
And she wouldn't give me any clues.
Yeah, she's a vault.
Yeah. Not only that, but even Dan, her husband,
Yeah.
would give us no clues.
Yeah, and usually we can get a little info out of Dan Burns.
But it didn't happen.
So, you've been here 6 or 8 months. You know Dr. Burns very well. You work very
Yeah,
closely.
but you've been here years.
I've
so
been-
I'm putting the burden on you.
and I've spent, let's say, hours with her at games at a
You should know
time.
this, Phil. You should know this. I'm sorry.
Yet
You should
I'm
know.
stumped
You should know this, Phil.
on the music. And I think the way we went about it, I'm starting to regret.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think that we're going to be so far off that we're going to be embarrassed on the first Phin Forward podcast. But again, it is the first Phin Forward podcast. And maybe one day we get a mulligan with our first guest, because obviously Dr. Burns will be on more than one time. So let's get to it. I know everybody at home is waiting for if we can guess Dr. Burns' walk-up song. Remember the walk-up song we stole from baseball, where when you get introduced, they play a couple seconds of your favorite genre or song. Lawrence, I'm going to let you do the honors.
No, Phil. No, I'm doing the intro. You have to do the honors. This is on you, Phil. This is on you. You have to
Let's get right to it then. Before we bring out our guests, we're going to bring her out after the song. We guessed, this is a we, I'm going to say it, but we guessed it. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Play it, Bobby. I love the beat. Love that.
I think we might be on the right track because You can't see Dr. Burns, but she's bobbing her head like she's dancing a little bit
but
in the chair,
that
in the oversized chair. All right, so we've made our guess.
Okay.
And we're gonna now bring on the amazing president, the 6th president of the University of Mount St. Vincent, Dr. Susan Burns. Dr. Burns, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You have to tell us, before we get into the hard-hitting journalism, were we correct in guessing your song?
I would say you had a very, very good guess,
Oh,
Really?
but you were so far from what I would have chosen.
That's such a diplomatic answer.
I only
It's
heard
like,
good guess.
I heard we're so far from it, and I think that that's my role. Sometimes I have to hear things
All right.
that maybe other
Yes.
people don't hear.
Okay, so we're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay, and you're very gracious
Yeah,
about
but
how we're being
it was
wrong,
solid.
but
Solid.
only Bobby Williams, our amazing producer,
Yes.
director behind the glass, knows you secretly told him. Matter of fact, I heard you wouldn't even put it in an email. He had to
No,
go
he
to
had
your
to come to
office,
my office.
because
Wow, this
because
is
you thought
top
we would try to
secret.
get it
Top secret.
out of him. So no
This is
Bobby,
the impossible level right now.
right? No Bobby, no Dan Burns. No one would tell
No.
us, Bobby, what is Dr. Burns' walk-up song?
Close my eyes and leave.
Oh.
It's time to try defying gravity.
Okay.
I think I'll try.
I feel.
I feel dumb right now for a
I'm
couple
not
reasons.
gonna go.
One,
I feel like that's like a great shower song though. Like that's like a great. Like that's like a great when you're trying to hit that note, Phil. Like I'm just.
so I'm gonna take it another direction. And my wife is going to be very mad at me because she thinks that I know you very well. It was my mother-in-law's favorite
wow.
song,
Very nice.
Wow.
Very
and
nice.
so it's apropos timing-wise.
Yes.
But great song.
Great song.
We were not even close.
We weren't even. Come
Yeah,
on.
no, that's
and,
okay.
But
But-
again, you have a eclectic music taste. Like you have
I
a
do.
wide
Right.
swath.
I
Right,
do.
right.
I do.
Right. And
That's
second,
what made it hard.
Second would have been
Yes.
Teen
Teen
Smells Like
Spirit.
Teen
Yeah,
Spirit.
yeah, smells like
Yeah.
Teen Spirit.
Okay.
Which does give you a bounce on the step, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a good
Does
one.
give you- This is
That's
true.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So excellent. Well, thanks for playing along. I know that was a
Thanks for
tough
giving me
one
opportunity.
right there. So
Let me bring Dr. Burns.
yeah, Lawrence is gonna bring Dr. Burns in, talk about her bio, and tell the world about Dr. Burns.
Phil, you mentioned Dr. Burns is our 6th president of the University of Mount St. Vincent. You got that right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Since taking office in 2021, she has led the institution through transformational milestones, which we are still doing, which she's still leading us through that, including a transformation from a college to a university, and launched Seton College. If you haven't seen Seton College, please come on campus to see that. A holistically supportive associate degree program for high-need students. Her leadership has expanded online and graduate offerings, including Bronx First registered PA program, which I think is the one and only in the Bronx. A community music school, which she
Yeah.
absolutely loves.
Yep.
I don't even tell you about the music part, because she wants to take over the world. But anyway, Dr. Burns is a nationally respected psychologist, and we can everybody that knows her can attest to that. Author and advocate for student research, specifically in the gaming. And I know that may not be part of the questions, but somewhere I'm going to try to find my way to your research in gaming and the effects gaming has. She sponsored numerous student publications and authored scholarly texts, including Psychology of Sex and Gender. Dr. Burns, welcome to the first Phin Forward podcast. We are super excited to have you. And we named this in a hurry.
Yeah. The name of this podcast, of the first official Phin Forward podcast, is Born in a Hurry.
Yeah.
Born in a hurry.
Named after
Fantastic.
how Lawrence speaks about you.
Yeah, and I got to get some IP on that, because I just feel like that's going to be on a T-shirt around
Yeah.
campus. I'm going to get absolutely not a penny for it.
Yeah. No,
And-
no,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
no, it's gonna
well,
go- it's
I'll
gonna go
talk
into
to
the-
Madeline. Yeah, I'll talk to Madeline. about
Madeline's
making
gonna
sure
yeah.
that
So-
we get that money in.
So Dr. Burns, great introduction, Lawrence. Amazing bio, of course, and first conversation we ever had, by the way, was about esports, and
About
now we
esports.
have a thriving
Yes.
esports room. So not only does she bring something up, but it gets done. She brings everything across the finish line, which
Agreed.
is so important. But Dr. Burns, I'm just going to start it off with what interested you in the Mount, and once you were offered the position, why did you accept it?
Yeah. this seems both like yesterday and 10 years ago,
Yeah.
but it was about 6.5 years ago that I, actually probably 6 or 7 years ago, that my president at the institution I was at sent me the job announcement for then the College of Mount St. Vincent. And I was the provost, chief academic officer, and he said, I'm not trying to get rid of you, but this job just sounds like you. And never did I ever think that I would be in New York. Never did I ever think that this would be a possibility.
I'm sorry, Phil. I'm going to cut Dr. Burns off because I want to give the audience something. Tell us where you are at this point, like geographically.
Yeah.
Where are you that this person gave you this? We're sitting in the Bronx. Where are you at that point?
I was in Dubuque, Iowa.
Come on, Phil.
Dubuque,
Come
Iowa.
on.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
The
different.
foresight of that person to
Yeah.
because you fit here. But I'm going to let you tell your story.
I bet that person would have guessed her song.
All right. Phil.
maybe not. I think what attracted me first was that although the Mount was in the Bronx,
Right.
very geographically, demographically different, it was very similar in the charism.
Oh.
The institution I was at was a small Catholic university in Dubuque, Iowa, also founded by women religious. And those sisters had just been awe-inspiring and really had cared about the ways in which we serve our learners. And so when I read the prospectus for the Mount, I was like, gosh, this sounds so similar.
Right.
And the opportunities seemed really significant. And I thought when I submitted my application, there's no way this is going to go anywhere because what is this school in New York City is going to think about this woman from Iowa applying? But I just fell in love with the charism, the sisters, the ways in which students were very holistically supported. And so it just felt like a good fit when I applied. And then when I was offered the job, I just couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
Wow.
I saw the possibility. The Mount in many ways was similar, but had greater opportunity than the experiences I was having in Iowa. Being in New York City, being in the Bronx, having access to the geography, having access to a greater student population. I don't know if you know that the population of Iowa is a little bit smaller
A little bit,
than the
just a little
population of New York.
Yeah.
And so I just saw great possibilities. And I had also seen that the person who had been president, Dr. Phin, had served for a very long time. And although that could be daunting, for me, it seemed like a moment where the institution might be ready for some change. And
Yeah,
so,
I love that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you made such a quick transition to being a New Yorker.
Yes.
No one would know that you're not from New York.
Yes.
uh,
I
right
might have
now.
been accused of being a New Yorker recently. Yes.
So I'll make you think a little bit here. Tell us about your best day so far at the Mount, because so many great things have happened.
Yeah.
But what's your best day to this point?
Yeah, there are so many days.
Yeah.
I mean, every day. I say every day at the right place on the river is the
Right.
best day. I would say best day at the Mount, I've got one that happens annually and then one that was a special occasion. Commencement, hands down every year.
Right.
Hands down every year when we stand on the stage and see students who couldn't have imagined the possibilities, seeing their life just lay out in front of them because of the way that we offer transformational education that wasn't just about a degree,
Right.
it was about an experience that changed their lives, not just for them, but their family, for the generations that will follow. It is so incredible. And to see the crowd go wild for these students, there's just nothing that's better than that. So I would say annually commencement. But another great day that I had was during my inauguration and installation, at the very end of the Mass, the music starts playing the alma mater song, the white and the gold. And for those who are not familiar with our alma mater song, we proudly raise our banners and we wave them. And I don't know what moved me in the moment, but there's this fantastic photo that was caught where I stepped out into the middle of the aisle of the chapel and I lifted my program and started waving. And to see everyone there lifting their programs and waving, it was like, God, this is just such a
Wow.
gift.
Yeah,
Such a
That's
gift.
nice.
Yeah, that's a great moment.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's
and
awesome.
you've had many
Yeah.
moments.
I've had so many.
I've been here 7-8 months, and I've been with you in some moments. So
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's a behind-the-scenes moment at UMSV that made you smile and remind you, yep, this is the community that I've been. And I've been with you, and so I'm interested to see what you have to say, and I may add something to it that I've seen that was really nice that you did for somebody. So I'm interested to know what behind the scenes moment you had.
Yeah. You know, again, we've had so many different moments that reveal community at this place. But I think for me, it is the in-between moments, the everyday where I see a faculty member stop outside of class and talk to a student that may or may not be in their class currently. It is seeing the coaches interact with their student athletes before a game, after a game, before a win, after a win. It is the provost saying to one of our students, you know what, I know you've got a med school interview. You're going to come and take that interview in my office because I want to make sure you've got good internet coverage. It is just the ways in which we show up for each other that is just so beautiful. And it's the ways in which students show up for each other as well, that at commencement when the students who are graduating from the undergraduate college go wild for our bridge students graduating. It's
that's
just
awesome.
all of those moments that you may not be able to point to every single one of them because there's so many of them, many of them.
Yeah, I was with Dr. Burns one time, and I don't know where we were coming from, but somebody must have overheard, a young woman, a student, must have overheard me say, Susan, or somebody must have said, hi, President Burns. And so a young woman stopped us and said, are you Dr. Burns? And she said, yep. And I was teasing. I was like, do you want an autograph? We were playing around. And then she got really serious and just said, I just wanted to thank you. So we have a partnership with Cricket, and I want to just thank you for connecting me with Cricket, and I'm doing this. And she just like had her whole strategy down packed. And so, I mean, oftentimes those moments happen for you, but what really struck me was the sincerity in her eyes and what she saw in her future, like where it was going, like despite any kind of roadblock she's gonna hit, this put her on the right path. And so I thought that was, and I'm sure you get a lot of those, but for me, just being here, oftentimes you don't see presidents walking on campus. I saw her the other day, her and Dan. I was driving, I was leaving, I was like, do you guys want to ride, right? They're like, no, we're cool. We're gonna walk.
And they're rides they've turned down.
Oh, man. Well, I learned that, Phil.
Up the hill,
that.
down the hill, the Weber House. No, we're
that's,
good.
that's really cool that you do that. You make yourself accessible.
Yeah.
So.
It's a gift to be with the community and to see them interacting with each other.
Great.
I got these wonderful cards that Phil.
They are fantastic cards.
They're wonderful.
Fantastic cards.
Thank you, and Teresa in the mailroom did a great
Yes.
job
Excellent.
on these quickly, by the way.
Excellent.
Too. Very good, quick turnaround.
Very quick. We're gonna get some hard questions.
Yeah.
Dr. Burns, when a parent or a student asks you, is college really worth it? What do you say to them, and what do you want them to feel and know by the time the conversation is over?
Yeah. You know, interestingly, I've not had a parent ask me that here at the University of Mount St. Vincent, which I think part of that is because the students we serve, we have a high percentage of students who are first generation college students. We have a high percentage of students who are Pell Grant eligible. I think parents and families still very much believe in the dream of what college can offer and how it can transform their lives. That's not always been the case in my career. I've been at institutions that the students, again, demographically are a little bit different, and the families have more questions. And I would say to that parent, I'd say to that student, just the research does show that it is still worth it. The lifetime earnings are greater for those with a college degree than those without a college degree. But I would also say to them, and I say this to our prospective students and during orientation as well, college is what you put into it. And so if you are planning on coasting through and not putting in the effort, then you're going to get that out of it. And so really, I tell students to make the most of their experiences here. Join those student organizations, go to those networking events, show up and not just sit in the back of class, show up, sit in the front of class, ask questions, go to office hours, really make the most of it, because the opportunities that are provided here at the University of Mount St. Vincent are so significant. And the proof is in the pudding for us, in that we rank high on social mobility. Our students economically are changed by coming to the university. So I'm biased. Never ask a college president if it's worth it. Of course it's worth it. Of course it's worth it. But it's not just about the course material you'll learn. It's about the experiences. Whether you're an fully in-person student, or if you're an online learner. It's always about what you put into it.
Right.
And the Mount's here for our students in ways that are meaningful, and we ask them to be here for themselves in ways that are meaningful.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even to your point, when you look at the numbers, when you look at census data on poverty, with a bachelor's degree, you're 4% likely to be in poverty, but with a high school or no college, it jumps all the way up to 13.1%. When we talk about salary, and when you look at the labor statistics, if you have a bachelor's degree versus a high school degree, over a 30-year period without any promotions, inflation, we're talking about almost $1 million, $956,000. How do you fight through the noise and keep our North Star front and forward when what we see in the landscape is a lot of deficit framing? Where this, like they're not asking a lot of people about why college. They're not asking them like, why is college, worth it? And we can give that explanation. They're asking the people who don't think college is worth it. How do you fight through that noise and go, this is our North Star? This is what we believe in.
Yeah, for me, it so many reasons, but I think by our founding, the Sisters of Charity of New York really assessed the community, assessed the situation, and said, what is missing, and how can we meet the need in the signs of the times? And at that time, it was that girls were not being educated.
Right.
And so North Star for me is serving well the underserved. And making sure that there's opportunity and access and affordable opportunity and access to excellent education. And so I've met with people who in DC who right now are very much questioning the value of higher education. And I've had an individual say to me, you can't tell me that the investment's worth it. I was like, but let me show you all of these examples of the ways in which students' lives are changed. And I think often when people say that college is not worth it, they're not thinking about just that degree. They're thinking that there are faster ways to a paycheck, or there are ways that are easier to get to that moment. And again, college is so much, I'm an example of that. College is so much more than just one course or just one certificate or getting to one thing that's going to be a signal on your resume that you're employable. And the reality is too that when our country right now is saying that you can get a job without a college degree, the hiring still is actually for people with degrees. And what I find so interesting and ironic is often the people who are arguing loudest about college not being worth it are college educated. They have kids who are going to be college educated, and so making sure that we remind our community that it's about personal growth and investment. It's about really, again, providing the opportunity for changing life. And that's what our sisters did. Fun fact, the University of Mount St. Vincent was the first institution for higher learning for women in the state of New York. And so, it's so clear the sisters knew then that education was worth it. And that's still true today, true today.
Well, that is a good segue to my next question here, Dr. Burns. In the spirit of Women's History Month, March, which we're now in, how do you tell the Sisters of Charity story in a way that honors their impact while also inspiring today's students, especially young women, to lead with purpose and with confidence? There are so many beautiful stories about the Sisters of Charity of New York. Those of you who've had the opportunity to walk around campus with me, you know that I love to tell the stories of the sisters. The way that I describe the sisters is they were entrepreneurs before that was even a word, really, that was in fashion, in vogue. They were women who knew how to get the job done, who knew that the community needed their work, but they were also women who would do the work without permission. In that they knew that, again, education needed to happen. They knew that hospitals needed to be built. They knew that this community needed what they were able to provide. And so I say to students today, we don't have as many sisters with us today as our alums did in the past, but pay attention. And if you see a sister, thank a sister. I love that. Because they set us on a path that was so revolutionary. And beautifully, part of their mission statement talks about being attentive to the signs of the times, responding to the signs of the times. And so they have evolved in how they meet the needs of the community over the history of the sisters, more than 200 years.
And it so beautifully has given us permission
Right.
to do the work that we do in ways that are really innovative, entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
because that's what the sisters would
Yes.
expect.
Yeah,
That's what
I
the
love
sisters
that.
would do, and that's the expectation of what we have for our students. To show up, to do the work, to not be afraid, to be audacious
Yeah.
in the work that you do. And the beauty of it is the sisters often would do that work without asking for attention,
Right. No, I love that.
without asking for recognition. But the power of their work is so significant,
Yeah, I
so
love that.
significant.
And they've evolved too, even like through social media now.
Social
and-
media,
and-
if you
and-
don't follow
and
the
things like
sisters on
that.
Instagram, you should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
And,
should.
and it's just it's so wonderful for our students. It's embedded in our campus, right?
Absolutely.
And
It's all about
you-
social
you-
justice. It's
Yeah.
all about community. It's all about, again, showing up for each other in meaningful ways.
Yeah, another thing
Yeah.
that just makes the Mount different
Yeah.
from other
Love
campuses.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. In your answer, President Burns, there's a word that comes to mind that leads into my next question is the word innovation, because they had to be innovative in that. People listening may assume innovation always means technology, but talk to me about what are the non-tech innovation things that UMSV is doing to move us forward?
Yeah, so many things, so many things. And I think at the center of the things that we do, there's a phrase I use about the Mount that I think guides some of our innovation. We meet learners when, where, and how they need
Yep.
us. And that could involve technology, absolutely could involve technology. But it's about asking the question, who are our learners?
Right.
When do they need us? How do they need us? Where do they need us? And so innovation in the time that I've been here, for example, you mentioned it in my intro that we have the first registered physician's assistant program
Yep.
in the Bronx. The Bronx is I will say, healthcare kind of desert. There's great need for healthcare providers. And so innovation is saying, we see that,
Right.
and we're going to respond to that.
Right.
Innovation for us is launching Seton College for students who have the highest financial need and do not meet our admission criteria. We are saying there's a path towards degree for those
Right.
students. For us, it's asking the question of how do we provide access at an affordable rate for students to be able to come into our community. So it might be online learning that is at a reduced rate.
Right.
It might be culturally sensitive learning for an Orthodox Jewish community where we're educating women at the undergraduate and graduate level in a culturally sensitive way.
Right.
It is offer second degree nursing programs, not just here on our campus, but in Queens and Brooklyn and in
love it.
Yonkers. And so it's really asking the question of how do we assess the signs of the times, to use the sisters' language, and how do we say, we don't need to be everything to everyone,
Right.
but how do we creatively and innovatively acknowledge the human dignity of that learner in a way that gives them access to excellent education at an affordable price and makes them understand that the impact of their degree is not just for them. It's for their family, it's for the
love
future,
that.
it's for the generations that will follow. And so lots of different ways.
Yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
of different ways.
That's good. Good
That's
stuff.
a great answer.
Good stuff.
And technology.
yeah.
And technology.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I always say to everybody that asks or just talks about the Mount that in the 5 campuses that I've worked on in my career, this is the only campus where there are no silos. Everyone collaborates, everyone helps each other and gets along. How did you form your collaborative leadership style, and how did you know it would work on a small campus?
Yeah. So I would say before I aspired to be a leader, I witnessed, I'm a learner myself, witnessed incredible leaders who really understood that they don't have to be the smartest person in the room, even though they may be intelligent, but to surround themselves with individuals who are smart, capable, and are willing to collaborate. And so for me, my style really evolved from that. I also took some leadership courses during my graduate degree. That might have helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But for me, when I show up with my cabinet or my senior leadership team or the President's Advisory Council or faculty or whatever group I'm in, I'm really listening as much as I'm talking and really trying to suss out who is showing up in the ways that are meaningful for the conversation, and how are we giving them the opportunity to have voice in that conversation, and how are we encouraging others to listen to that voice. When I first got to the Mount, I had a a president who beautifully said a phrase that I used much more than I do now because people just naturally do this. I'd say play in each other's sandboxes for all the right reasons. So really get into your spaces and places. So the CFO is in the space with the provost is in the space with our senior vice president for advancement and external relations. Our VP for enrollment is with our strategy. For all of the different leaders, it's really about recognizing the value of what our colleagues bring to the table and then strategizing to use that.
Right.
If I were alone to try to do the things that we've done, forget about it. There's no way. There's just no way.
But it truly is top-down leadership, and you somehow touch all corners of the campus, which, as you know, doesn't happen everywhere, which really helps the Mount run seamlessly.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm a newbie on the stage here, and so didn't until I heard your answer about go ahead and play in everybody's sandbox. No wonder everybody is like, okay, Lawrence, we can do that because
Yes.
I'm in everybody's business, Phil.
Yes, yes.
I know.
I'm the oldest child. I'm in everybody's business,
Yes.
Phil, all the time, and so that is from your style. So I love that.
Well, I think that we've done more innovative things because of that. People coming up with ideas that you were like, wow, okay, that's not your area, but that's a really interesting idea. And people are willing to listen to each other. And I think that there had been the kind of grounding of that before I got here, but I think I've just turned it up a notch or two, just because, again, I see the value of looking, and this is what we do for our students. I see the value of the person
Right.
before I worry about what they're bringing to the table, and recognizing that you're bringing a whole host of experiences and a whole host of ideas, and it would be foolish and perhaps detrimental to us if we didn't really value the person in a way that gave voice to the full.
Great.
Wow, we could just end right there. I'm just emotional. Man.
But yet we're not going there.
No, we're not. We're not. I love that. President Burns,
Yes.
how do you decide? So we talked about that. How do you decide when to hold the line on a tough call that may be unpopular, and what checks ensure the decision remains mission aligned, ethical, and good for students over time? And so that's sometimes going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I think you help answer the question by the way that you asked it. I think when I'm making decisions, mission and values are always at the center of the conversation. And so my question to myself would be, in this decision, have we considered mission and values, and are we putting it at the center? And then are we ethical? I mean, that we have a North Star, that's important in what we do. And then, does this have benefit to students long term? And so I'll use an example. COVID seems both like yesterday and 10 years ago, but COVID was in full force when I was here and when I came into the Mount. And when we were making decisions about vaccination on our campus, like, we ultimately decided employees had to be vaccinated to remain part of this community. And so I knew that would be a tough decision, but a right decision. It was the important right decision to make. Our mission and values talk about the care for our common humanity, commitment to human dignity, and our obligations to each other. So it's so clearly part of our mission and values. But when we made that decision, and we knew it would be right long term for the students, for this community, we didn't just do it in a hard-nosed, this has to be done. The conversation at the senior level was, how can we both use a carrot before we have to use the stick of this hard decision? And so we did require vaccines, but we also offered raffles for students who submitted their vaccination records. They had the opportunity to be in a raffle for sports tickets, for Broadway show tickets, for free books for the year, for 2 free tuition for a year. And then ultimately, if students didn't do it, then they would be de-enrolled from the institution. Employees as well. We did raffles for employees too. And so I think there's a way to balance those hard decisions with making sure that people understand the why, and people understand that there is ultimate good out of it. And I would also say that my background is as a researcher, and so if the data changes, if the context changes, if the circumstances change, I'm open to the conversation of, do we need to reconsider this decision? But not right away. I think we need to live with the decision before we make any changes to it.
Yeah, I love that. Great point about the data too. Sometimes I think we rush to judgment when we see the data, and we can tell all kinds of stories with data. And so from your perspective, because the buck stops there,
Yeah, it does.
right?
It
And
does.
so
It
you
does.
know that's what you carry, that's
Yeah.
your weight. And so to understand how to pause and
Yeah.
then go, okay, let's pause for a minute, let's see what this reveals, and go from there. It's
Yeah,
good stuff.
absolutely.
Lawrence, we're both going to ask one more
We are.
question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask my difficult one, and then you could ask your last one.
Okay.
Dr. Burns, I've thought about this for a long time because I think about this through my career path. And I said this actually to one of our good new friends and partners, Rashad Howard, and he said to me, there's a book there. And I said, well, you could write a book. I'm not smart enough to write a book. But my question that I'm going to ask all the guests is,
Yeah.
if you were your mentor back whenever you want to think about, what advice would Dr. Burns now give Dr. Burns then? Probably you weren't a doctor then either.
Probably not. No, I'm absolutely certain I was not. I would give 3 pieces of advice to myself. I would say be open to the journey. Because I think back to when I was an early college student, I was absolutely certain that I was going to be either a clinical psychologist or a music therapist. And I think if I had been open to the journey earlier, I would have saved myself a lot of grief in how I approached my studies. I would also say to trust your gut. Trust your gut. I think there's something very valuable in that. And there were times I would say in my schooling, in my early career and journey, that I very much trust my gut, but there are times that I maybe wasn't always listening to that kind of internal guide. And third, I'd say be bolder sooner.
Wow,
Yeah,
be,
that's great.
Be bolder
be
sooner.
bolder
That's
sooner.
tremendous.
How much more
Sooner.
bolder can you be?
Yeah.
Well, you
But,
see me
bolder
today.
but when you
You see me today.
but think about that when so she's thinking back
Yeah. Yeah.
to
No, I love the
wherever she's thinking.
Yeah.
It's hard to be bold
Yeah.
at that early stages of your
Yes.
career,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
when you're in school, or
Right.
when you're not as sure of yourself as you are now. It's an amazing answer because, imagine if everyone was bolder sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the question. I
Yeah.
definitely love the
Yeah,
question.
and
Yes.
amazing, great answer.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you always have to slip AI in these conversations all the time. So I'm going to ask you, there's an easy assumption that AI-powered advising and support can scale without weakening trust, and we've all been talking about that. What guardrails will you insist on so AI strengthens, not replaces, the human relationship at the center of the center of student support and instruction? And I know that's been conversations that we've been having about how important that is. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I think we are so uniquely positioned here at the University of Mount St. Vincent to have a different conversation about AI. And I see other colleges and universities having this conversation, but not in a way that, again, is so mission aligned for us. And that the way that we can approach it is really about putting the human at the center of the conversation, and recognizing that I'm not just talking about student ID number 00 whatever. I'm talking about Lawrence. I'm talking about Phil. I'm talking about how can we make sure that Lawrence's journey is fully supported in the ways that he needs his journey supported, that Phil's journey, which is different, is supported in the ways that his journey needs to be supported. And we can use the power of AI to say, okay, Lawrence needs a little bit more help in this space or place. Phil needs this help over in this place and space. And we can put in information that allows it to be a little bit more customizable. I think for me, the way that we keep our North Star integrity is that we're transparent with students about what are we doing, how are we using it, where are we using it, why are we using it. I think we can ask the students to be transparent with us because this is a partnership in the experience. I think we can also respect human dignity. We can say that AI is built on systems that may be flawed. And so the way we're going to help deal with those flaws, those particular isms that might show up in AI, we're going to be part of the change. We're going to be part of saying that AI may favor one particular population over another. We're going to fix that. We're going to make sure that there are not biases because we know our community in a way that allows us to shape that experience. But I think keeping the human
Yeah, I love
at the
it.
center of the conversation is the way that we don't lose it. And that's true, again, not only for our traditional undergraduate students, our Seton College students, our graduate students who are in person, online, our students who may never step foot on this campus, which we invite them all to step foot on this campus, that we can say, I know you,
Right.
I see you, I value you, and we want to use this tool, because it is a tool that is powerful to enhance, to augment, not to replace your journey.
Yeah, I love that. Two words that really, the human and community. Like our students go back to a community,
Yeah.
right? And so to go back to a community and understand how human-centered we are at the university, that gets contagious into communities, into households, and that's something that we'll be doing in April with a big conference on centering all the human potential. I want to go back to something, Phil, that we talked about earlier, and that's gaming. And you and Susan know this well. When I took a tour at campus for the first time.
See, he's going off script.
I know, I am.
You gave him one question, he's going to ask 3 more, but that's
Yeah.
But
he also gets the last question.
Oh,
so this
okay.
is going to be
Okay.
interesting. Go ahead, Lawrence.
No.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this because this is important. When I got here, first floor, we have esports.
Yeah.
Your name came up.
Okay.
Phil, Dr. Burns was talking about, we're doing this whole esports thing. I was completely impressed.
Yeah.
Then the question is, but I know Dr. Burns is a psychologist, I know she does the gaming thing. When you guys talked about the esports thing, talk to me about, so at a layman's level, I'm like, are students just playing esports all day? How do you guys manage that? I mean, I think it's great, and I don't see the same student in there for 3 days in a row. So we know that's not happening.
So to truly answer this
can you
question,
guys tell me about this whole?
it's a great question, so I'm going to give it to you. You finally asked a good question. But in probably the second conversation that Dr. Burns and I ever had when she was hired was she asked me if I thought about adding esports. And my mind is going like, I know nothing about esports. And she's like, I've edited at 2 campuses. And she told me the background. And so she kind of put the bug in my ear about it. We went back and did a little research. At the time, I was reporting to Kevin DeGroat, our vice president for operations, who, as everyone knows, is a bull in a china shop and will get something done in 2 seconds.
Right.
And we actually hired a consultant to get the right research and get the right information, and we had much more in-depth conversations about what it should look like on our campus.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I had added it twice before, and the ways in which we added it were different at both of those campuses. And I had seen that having it housed within athletics, I'd seen it housed in the academic side at one institution and then housed in athletics on the other side, and saw it as much more potential success having it housed in athletics. And the reality is, for all of our athletics teams, they're students first.
Right.
And so those student athletes, you won't see them in there 24/7 gaming because they are expected to be students first. And the reality is, they may not be your expected student athlete, but our coaches hold them to the same kind of standards that we hold all of our students. They have to be successful in their classes. They need to make sure that they're doing their studies in the way that they're doing their studies. And they can also represent this university in a really fantastic way. And it's such a growing industry that the potential is not just on the athletic side of the house. These students can actually, if they want to, have careers out of this. And we at the university are in the process of launching a computer science program, and often there are connections to students who want to study esports management or study gaming or game design or computer science, that I think that'll even lift the students' interest in sports as well.
It's really helping our new coach recruit as you look at the academic side. We have an amazing beautiful esports room.
Right,
People
no.
come here and lose their mind over how nice it is. It's right where it needs to be in Founders Hall, right in the middle of our biggest building
Right.
on campus, and it wows everybody. I love that it's under athletics, and that was Dr. Burns' idea for several reasons, but the reason I love it so much is I remember the first day we gave them the same gear that the basketball team gets,
Right.
Yeah.
and they couldn't believe it.
Right.
And I remember when we honored them at the Dolphins, our banquet, they're part of something bigger than them, which
Right.
on a lot of campuses you're not.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So great idea, Dr.
Well,
Burns.
Right back at you.
Good job, both
Back
of you.
at
Great job.
Yeah.
All right, President Burns, this podcast, I mean, I could do this for easily hours. I know you're an athlete, but a podcast athlete is different.
Yeah, I say.
The training's different.
The training is completely different. But we,
The walk-up music's different as well.
I've already learned that next time those cups are going to be filled with coffee. Mine's all the way over there.
Yes.
let's talk to Bobby about
Yes,
that. President Burns, thank you so much for this,
My
so much
pleasure.
insight. You're born in a hurry, but to hold you down for an hour just to get some conversation out of you. We usually do this for this walking. We're doing this kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
conversation.
there's a lot of walk and talks
Yeah,
going on.
a lot of
yeah.
walk and talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know from you who you think should be our next guest. If you could think of somebody that might be our next guest, who should Phil go bother?
Yeah, I've got a long list.
Yeah.
A very
stop
long
there.
list. Very
Uh-oh.
long
And you
list.
know I'll bother anybody.
Yes, well, this is true. I've been thinking about this because I might have got a preview to that question. And the person I think that you should talk to is our chaplain, who is also a professor in Seton College, Father Bill Kane.
Yes.
Oh,
I think
I'm
would
in.
be so interesting to hear his story because it's not necessarily a story you would expect.
Okay.
And for him to also to be able to tell you about his experiences with our Seton College
Oh, I
students.
love that.
Yeah.
And
love
our
that.
community as well. And so I would say Father Bill.
Okay.
Father Bill.
Thought,
So we'll
Sure
talk to
that-
our booking agent.
please.
And
You'll
I
have to
think for
talk
the-
to his booking agent.
Yeah, and I think Lynn Bongiovanni will be our booking agent
Yes.
for,
that sounds like a
for
plan.
Father right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that is that I
Great
like
question.
I think you'll
Good job.
And
be wowed as well. And we'll want more than an hour with him.
that's a good one right there.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
We'll certainly look into. Dr. Burns, you've been a tremendous first guest. I think everyone is going to get all the information that they need about why Dr. Burns is a great leader, why our campus is thriving, just from tuning in to this podcast. And this will go down in history. You are guest number 1. I'm sure you'll be like guest number 4 also, because guest number 3 will probably say, you should interview Dr. Burns again. But we thank you so much, and,
Yeah, we
we
do.
look forward to what's next for the Mount. Thank you.
Yeah, stay tuned. That's
All right,
All right.
welcome back in. Segment 3, Phin Forward Podcast, the official podcast of the University of Mount St. Vincent.
I love it.
As we wrap up episode 1, of course, episode 1 is called,
Phin forward.
no, the
Born in a
podcast is
Hurry.
called Phin Forward.
Born in a hurry.
Born in a
I'm
hurry
so- I'm
because
sorry.
of our
I forgot
first guest.
I forgot we had
It's-
subtext.
You made up the line.
Yeah,
Born
I
in
made
a
up the
hurry.
line, but I forgot about our subtext.
Because our
yeah.
president, Dr. Burns, is always moving.
Absolutely.
And was our first guest. What an amazing job.
It was.
She
It
just
was.
did. We threw some, I thought, difficult questions, some serious journalism at Dr. Burns right there. But what stuck out to me,
Yeah, tell me.
Lawrence, was when we asked her, about the job
Mm-hmm.
at UMSV. The president at the university that she was at
Right.
is the one that said, hey, this has your name written all over it. You should
Right.
apply for this job.
Which is really interesting, just because geographically, we're
Yeah.
sitting in Iowa, and then we talk about coming all the way to the Bronx. So no, I agree with you. That definitely stood out to me. What else stood out to me too was just navigating through all this noise.
Yeah.
Right. Like is college really worth it? Really having her finger on the pulse
Yeah.
about that and ready to talk about those types of investments. So, look, we see her on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We know what's going on behind the scenes, and I think this was the perfect podcast to show people like
Yeah.
this is what actually happens, up front. And so I'm happy that she was able to take some time and
Yeah.
come do this with us.
If people only knew her
Yeah,
schedule,
her
right? If
schedule
they
is
only knew
crazy.
her calendar, and she'll be at a basketball game till 10 at night
Yeah.
on campus, and be at a meeting at 7:30 in the morning on
Easily.
campus, and
Easily.
she just keeps going, and she's one of the reasons we're taking off. And as she talked about all the great people around her and us that are collaborating to do everything we can for the students, but always also think about what's next,
Yeah.
which is something you're so great at, and really why you're here right now.
No, I appreciate that, but the lead definitely comes from her. And she talked about doesn't want to be the smartest person in the room. But let me tell you what she is, and I say this not because I'm here, but what I've noticed from her is she's always the most accountable person.
Sure.
And that gives me my cue, right, to be like, look, I got to be the most accountable person. And so you don't necessarily have to be the smartest person, Phil, but you can always strive to be the most accountable person.
You hit it on the head, the accountability, that's leadership.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
amazing leadership. You could admit when you're wrong, you could listen to other people. That's the other thing she talked about, listening. And listening, I know from my background as a coach, it's the most important thing in recruiting.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that you're doing along those lines. And it's, as a president, a lot of presidents just want to talk.
Yeah.
But she has that ability to listen and to take in the knowledge and take those messages from anyone across campus that has a good idea.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And when she said, look, the data doesn't always talk to me, right? And that she has to go with her gut and she has to watch and then see which way things are going. And that's part of us being part of the team, is to help her make great decisions and great relationships. And so, very impressive.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next one. What you got queued up for episode 2?
It's funny you said the word Q, because we're going to bring in one of the most fascinating men in the country. Someone that is so well versed, has such an amazing background in so many different things, but also someone who's rooted in our community.
Oh, I love this. Talk
Q
to me.
Williams, D2C, dedicated to community,
I love it.
is an amazing, amazing group that he runs that are helping people across the country be educated on law enforcement and how to act around law enforcement, and helping with different parts of issues that arise in different states. It's amazing. We've gotten to know him together, you and I, and we're about to embark on a huge endeavor with Q.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that, and Q's going to be great. And to your point, I think Q does a great job, him and his team, bridging that gap between law enforcement and community and law enforcement. And it's bi-directional. It's just not lopsided in that way. And he understands it, and he's been on the other side of it, and loves community. We tease him all the time that he's a son of everybody's community once you meet him. And so, looking forward to that. Wow, that's going to be, man, you're really pulling, like, your booking agent? Impressive, man.
I love how you act like you're not a part of it.
Yeah, no,
we were
I-
actually at lunch with Q the other day.
I know, but
just so everyone knows, when he basically said, I'm coming on.
yeah, but the way you book it, so I don't you got it lined up.
Well,
and
yeah,
so
I don't
they
want
set
to, you don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, you don't want to know the negotiations
I
behind
do
the
want
scenes.
it fried, and I want us to.
Yeah.
I want the plate to be nice. But
Yeah, I know you like a nice end product. I'll handle the minutia,
I
if you
appreciate
will.
that. I appreciate that.
But this is going to be fun. We are going to involve this campus, our new partners, our friends on campus, the people that make this campus run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully this is a podcast that everyone's going to tune into to get some great information, to have a little fun, and just to learn more about the amazing place that we call the Right Place on the River, the University of Mount St. Vincent. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon for episode number 2.
Number 2. Take care.